In the glittering world of social media, where thousands chase fleeting fame, one woman transformed her passion for fashion into an empire of influence that touches millions of lives across the globe. Her story isn't just about beautiful photographs or designer clothing. It's about resilience, authenticity, and the courage to build something extraordinary from the ground up. This is the journey of Shar Swasbrook Murray, a name that has become synonymous with elegance, empowerment, and entrepreneurial spirit in the digital age. Before we dive deeper into this incredible story of transformation and triumph, make sure you're subscribed to Sweet Models World, where we bring you the most inspiring stories from the fashion and modeling universe. Hit that like button, turn on notifications, and join our community of dreamers and achievers who believe that with passion and perseverance, anything is possible. Shar Swasbrook Murray's path to becoming one of Instagram's most celebrated fashion influencers wasn't paved with privilege or overnight success. Born with an innate appreciation for aesthetics and style, Shar grew up understanding that true beauty emanates from confidence and self-expression. Her early years were marked by a quiet determination to find her voice in a world that often seemed overwhelming and unforgiving. While other young women her age were following conventional paths, Shar knew deep in her heart that she was meant for something different, something that would allow her creativity to flourish and inspire others along the way. The fashion industry has always been notoriously difficult to break into, with gatekeepers controlling who gets opportunities and who remains invisible. Traditional modeling agencies held all the power, deciding which faces would grace magazine covers and which dreams would be deferred indefinitely. But Shar entered the scene at a pivotal moment in history when social media was beginning to democratize fashion and beauty. Instagram, in particular, was emerging as a platform where talent, consistency, and genuine connection could trump traditional industry connections. Shar recognized this shift and decided to bet on herself in ways that required immense courage and vision. Her initial posts on Instagram were humble beginnings, simple snapshots of her personal style and fashion choices that reflected her authentic taste. There were no professional photographers, no elaborate studio setups, just a young woman with a smartphone and an eye for composition. What set Shar apart from the countless others trying to make their mark was her genuine approach to content creation. She wasn't trying to be someone she wasn't or copying the aesthetic of already established influencers. Instead, she focused on developing her own unique visual language, one that spoke to real women navigating real life while still wanting to look and feel beautiful. The journey from obscurity to influence is never linear, and Shar experienced her share of setbacks and moments of doubt. There were posts that received minimal engagement, collaborations that fell through, and days when the algorithm seemed to work against every effort she made. The temptation to give up whispered constantly in her ear, especially when friends and family questioned whether she was wasting her time on a platform that might never yield tangible results. But Shar possessed something that cannot be taught or bought, an unwavering belief in her vision and the patience to let it unfold organically. As her follower count began to grow, Shar understood that numbers alone didn't define success. She invested time in building genuine relationships with her audience, responding to comments, sharing behind-the-scenes glimpses into her life, and being vulnerable about her own insecurities and challenges. This authenticity became her superpower in an industry often criticized for promoting unrealistic standards and heavily filtered realities. Women across different age groups, body types, and backgrounds began to see themselves reflected in Shar's content, not because she looked like everyone, but because she made fashion feel accessible and personal rather than exclusive and intimidating. Shar's content strategy evolved as she honed her craft and developed a deeper understanding of what her audience craved. She began curating looks that ranged from high-street fashion to luxury pieces, demonstrating how style isn't about price tags, but about understanding what works for your body, lifestyle, and personality. Her posts became mini masterclasses in mixing textures, playing with proportions, and creating cohesive outfits that told a story. Each photograph was carefully composed, yet maintained a spontaneous quality that made followers feel like they were getting genuine recommendations from a trusted friend rather than calculated advertisements from a distant influencer. The breakthrough moment for Shar came when several established fashion brands began noticing her growing influence and the authentic engagement she generated. Unlike influencers who had massive followings but little actual impact on purchasing decisions, Shar's recommendations carried weight because her audience trusted her judgment implicitly. When she endorsed a product or styled a particular piece, her followers didn't just double tap and scroll past. They took action, purchased items, and returned to share their own experiences. This tangible influence caught the attention of marketing executives who were increasingly disillusioned with traditional advertising methods and looking for fresh voices that could genuinely connect with consumers. Shar's first major brand collaboration was a defining moment that validated years of consistent effort and creative investment. But rather than letting success inflate her ego or compromise her authenticity, she approached partnerships with the same integrity that had built her community in the first place. She turned down lucrative deals with brands whose values didn't align with her own, understanding that her credibility was far more valuable than any single paycheck. This principled approach only strengthened her relationship with her audience and established her as an influencer who genuinely cared about the products and brands she promoted. As her platform expanded, Shar began using her influence for purposes beyond fashion promotion. She recognized the responsibility that came with having hundreds of thousands of people paying attention to her words and actions. Mental health awareness, body positivity, sustainable fashion, and women's empowerment became recurring themes woven naturally into her content. She shared her own struggles with self-doubt, the pressure to maintain a certain image, and the importance of setting boundaries in an industry that constantly demands more. These moments of vulnerability created deeper connections with her audience and positioned her as not just a fashion influencer, but a voice for positive change in the digital space. Shar Swasbrook Murray's approach to fashion is fundamentally rooted in the belief that style should enhance life rather than complicate it. She champions the idea that every woman deserves to feel confident and beautiful regardless of budget constraints or body type. Her styling tips often focus on wardrobe essentials that can be mixed and matched to create countless looks, practical advice for women juggling careers, families, and personal aspirations. This practical approach to fashion, combined with aspirational aesthetics, created a perfect balance that resonated with modern women tired of unrealistic fashion content that had no application to their actual lives. Behind the curated Instagram feed and polished photographs exists a businesswoman with sharp instincts and entrepreneurial vision. Shar didn't just stumble into success. She studied analytics, understood platform algorithms, invested in improving her photography and editing skills, and treated her Instagram presence as a legitimate business requiring strategic planning and consistent execution. She learned about lighting, composition, color theory, and storytelling, transforming herself from a casual content creator into a professional whose work rivaled that of established fashion publications. This commitment to excellence elevated her content above the noise and established her as a serious player in the influencer economy. The evolution of Shar's personal brand also reflects her growth as an individual. Early content focused primarily on outfit posts and fashion hauls, but as she matured and her audience evolved, so did her content strategy. She began incorporating lifestyle elements, travel, wellness, relationships, and personal development, creating a more holistic brand that acknowledged women as multidimensional beings rather than just consumers of fashion. This expansion allowed her to connect with her audience on multiple levels and provided more opportunities for diverse brand partnerships and revenue streams. Shar's influence extends beyond Instagram into other platforms and ventures, demonstrating her understanding that digital success requires diversification. She has cultivated presence on YouTube, TikTok, and other emerging platforms, adapting her content style to suit each medium while maintaining her core brand identity. This multi-platform approach not only expanded her reach, but also protected her business from the volatility of relying on a single platform's algorithm and policies. She has launched her own products, collaborated on exclusive fashion lines, and created digital courses sharing her knowledge with aspiring influencers looking to follow in her footsteps. One of the most remarkable aspects of Shar Swasbrook Murray's journey is her generosity in lifting others as she climbed. Rather than viewing other influencers as competition, she has fostered a collaborative spirit, featuring smaller creators on her platforms, participating in joint campaigns, and openly sharing insights about the industry. This abundance mindset has created a network of supporters and collaborators who champion her success and contribute to a more positive influencer culture. Her willingness to mentor emerging talent and share lessons learned from her own mistakes demonstrates a maturity and security that many in her position lack. The challenges Shar has faced aren't limited to building an audience and securing brand deals. As a public figure in the digital age, she has navigated criticism, dealt with online harassment, managed privacy concerns, and coped with the mental health impacts of living life in the public eye. The pressure to constantly create content, maintain engagement, and stay relevant in a rapidly changing landscape takes a toll that followers rarely see. Yet Shar has been remarkably candid about these struggles, using her platform to advocate for healthier relationships with social media and encouraging her audience to prioritize mental wellness over digital validation. Her fashion philosophy centers on the concept that style is a form of self-expression and personal empowerment rather than adherence to arbitrary rules dictated by seasonal trends. She encourages women to experiment, take risks, and develop their own sense of style rather than blindly following influencer recommendations or fashion magazine edicts. This empowering message has resonated particularly strongly with women who have felt excluded from fashion conversations due to age, size, or financial constraints. Shar's content consistently reinforces the idea that confidence is the best accessory and that true style comes from knowing yourself and dressing in ways that make you feel authentically powerful. The business acumen Shar has developed throughout her journey is as impressive as her creative talents. She has negotiated contracts, built a team to support her growing empire, developed multiple income streams, and invested wisely in her future beyond her influencer career. Understanding that digital fame can be fleeting, she has been strategic about building assets and businesses that can sustain her beyond the Instagram era. This forward-thinking approach demonstrates a sophistication that separates sustainable influencer careers from flash-in-the-pan internet fame. Shar Swasbrook Murray's story is ultimately about the power of authenticity in an increasingly artificial world. At a time when filters, editing apps, and carefully constructed personas dominate social media, her commitment to showing up as her genuine self has proven to be her greatest competitive advantage. She has built an empire not by pretending to be perfect, but by being real, relatable, and remarkably consistent in delivering value to her audience. Her success proves that in the attention economy, trust and authenticity are the currencies that matter most. As she continues to evolve and expand her influence, Shar remains grounded in the values that launched her journey: creativity, authenticity, empowerment, and connection. She hasn't forgotten the uncertainty and struggle of her early days, and that memory keeps her humble and connected to followers who are currently where she once was. Her story serves as inspiration for anyone with a dream and a smartphone, proof that traditional gatekeepers no longer hold all the power and that with vision, consistency, and genuine passion, ordinary people can build extraordinary platforms. The impact Shar has made extends far beyond fashion recommendations and brand collaborations. She has helped reshape how we think about influence, demonstrating that true power comes not from follower counts but from the depth of connection and trust you build with your community. She has shown that success doesn't require compromising your values or sacrificing your authenticity on the altar of popularity. And she has proven that women can build businesses, control their narratives, and create opportunities for themselves without waiting for permission from traditional industry gatekeepers. Shar Swasbrook Murray's journey from aspiring fashion enthusiast to Instagram icon represents the democratization of influence and the power of persistence. Her story reminds us that every massive success begins with a single post, every empire starts with a single follower, and every dream requires the courage to begin even when the outcome is uncertain. She stands as living proof that in the digital age, your background, connections, and resources matter less than your vision, work ethic, and willingness to show up consistently as your authentic self. If this story inspired you, if Shar's journey resonated with your own dreams and ambitions, then share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Drop a comment below telling us what aspect of her story motivated you most. And don't forget to check out our other videos featuring incredible models and influencers who are redefining what success looks like in the modern world. Subscribe to Sweet Models World and become part of a community that celebrates achievement, authenticity, and the unstoppable power of determined women everywhere. Your journey might be just beginning, and like Shar, you have the power to create something extraordinary.